Like I say, I don't think anyone can really rationalize my life. I don't think anyone can really truly understand it. I don't think you can comprehend it, really. My life before with my Indians and my Braves and my life in way back times when I used to, before there was any volcano, before we even found a volcano. Um, I mean, I'm sure there was one out there somewhere, but we hadn't found it yet. Um, I was getting a little more well known, and I think the first stuff was the Indian stuff. I did some helping with the Indians and some other stuff, and then I had a couple different little tribes that were helping me out. I was helping them, and like we did the seed pouch and stuff for the Indian braves that would go off and do my little errands or whatever. Um, but it was really nothing really happened. I mean, great harvests. They lived off the land. They wandered around a little bit, but mostly it was just nothing. I mean, I forget now, and I miss it. I really, like I say, if you were me, you would understand what I mean. I really miss it. Like it was so peaceful. I mean, at one point, I think we had gotten past all the really bad times. The previous times, I think I already helped out Brazil a little bit and done some other stuff, maybe the plow or something like that. No, I think we're still like scatter planting or something like that. There's some simple stuff. We were messing around with some stuff, and we were making progress, but it was peaceful. It was incredibly peaceful. We weren't doing any big projects. There was nothing really going on. It was just living life, and I think maybe we did some TB stuff. I think there was a couple different housing options or housing tries, tests or whatever. Um, but they were just living life. I mean, I think there might have been some pottery stuff. I forget exactly how it was. I mean, I was there. I remember it. But it was nice. I was respected. I was loved. I was cared about. I could almost cry thinking about it, honestly, because it was such a better time. There was no money. There was no law. There was no complications. It was just nice, peaceful. I was waiting for my first volcano to erupt. I had a tribe there and everything, working for me or working with me, and they had people. I think they had people on the thing when it was smoking or whatever. But the what's it called the gases were too much for them, and I was like, pull them back. Don't worry about it. Don't. I'm not gonna waste any time on that, really. So they moved back. There was one group that stayed a little bit closer, like halfway distance between the mountaintop and the little village they had set up. Anyway, the village increased in size and became a lot bigger. I don't know how many people were there, like a couple thousand, I think, or a couple hundred. I didn't want too many people too close to the volcano. There probably were more than one groups or whatever by a volcano, but they're away. But the thing was, they're having great. There's huge crops and big harvests and stuff like that, and it was just peaceful, nice. I think I did some shovel stuff or something eventually, and it was just really. I mean, the shovel stuff wasn't actually until way later. Like I did a whole bunch of stuff, and then eventually I do a little shovel stuff for myself, and just kind of have them try out some shovels, and people like some of the shovels and stuff, and it's just it wasn't really real inventing, not until we started saw cutting or whatever. But they do a couple things. A couple things are happening around the world, but it's so small. I think we're working on some boats or something, but it's just like not much. Just relaxation and like I say, I think we took down some animals together and something. There's some other stuff, but But my early years were peaceful. It was wonderful. And, I could almost go to sleep thinking about how nice it was. Like, and there was even possibly a time before the Indians, because the Indians was really the hunting parties and stuff. Anyway, though, it was really nice. I loved it. Um, anyway, I don't know. I guess you had to be there. um, anyway, at some point in time, I start doing technology, and things start getting a little more complicated and stuff. But I kind of wish I could go back. I wish I could just. In some ways, I should have just kept it like that. Just been like, all right, this is good. We're cool. I don't want to go any further. And that would have been that. Anyway, though, I just had to push it a little bit more and just see what would happen. I don't know. There's a couple things I was like, well, this could happen if we do it like this or do that. And I don't know. I was leading humanity. And throughout the years, things started getting complex, and then they got more complex. And then they got even more complex. And it just was like, ugh. I wish I could go back to the simple life. Like I say, the most exciting thing was like the seed pouch and like the new Indians, whatever. I think they were doing some stuff like trying to find some new animals or whatever. They had found some pelts and they were finding some other pelts and stuff. I think maybe they were looking for some bigger animals or something or something. Anyway, and they found some stuff. I mean, it was slow. It was really slow. They stayed away from the cold. They I mean, it was, my Indian times were probably my favorite times, actually. And true, we didn't dig very deeply. We only got we were able to dig a hole, and we were only digging it at 2 feet a day or something like that, deeper. And it wasn't much, but, I mean, we didn't need much, I guess. And, and I just had a couple people doing that, and they did their farms. And when they weren't farming, they were digging my little hole. I had like a 50-foot to 100-foot wide hole in the ground in one place, and they were just digging down. Eventually, they found some sort of mineral or something, and they started messing around with that. There's a couple different spots. Anyway. Like I said, the angular shovels didn't even come until way, way later. Like, there's hundreds of years or whatever before that. Like, my people lived a very long time just waiting for the volcano and just living life. Gaining in population. Anyway. If you're me, you know what I mean.